According to Greg Popovich, Kawhi Leonard has, quote, a partial tear in his left shoulder. Now, that sounds very bad, but the injury not believed to be very serious within the Spurs organization. Still, this is the second injury the Spurs' best player is facing this season. Kevin, you spend a lot of time talking to people in Spurs land. How worried should the rest of us be?
So on one hand, I'm not worried in this respect. No team is better at plugging in pieces during the regular season to beat bad teams and get to your 53, 54 wins than the San Antonio Spurs. So I think life will go on. Kyle Anderson's really developed. I mean, they always have contingencies for this. Long term, I want a very healthy Kawhi Leonard to take on the Houston Rockets in the second round of the playoffs. And I mean, they're going to have to fly around the court, and this is the most devastating perimeter defender in the game. So immediately, no, I'm not concerned. Come April 17th, I'm very concerned.
They did not put out a new injury report on this. So for all we know, a slight tear means a sprained shoulder, because a sprain is a tear.
Right.
And this could be something that will not impede him long term. It's also his left shoulder, not his shooting shoulder. So in theory, he can recover from this. But we've been saying Kawhi can recover from this now, dating back 2 injuries.
To the playoffs.
To his ankle, then to his calf, or to his thigh, now to his shoulder. And, you know, you don't want to have a situation where you lose a season. But, you know, we've already had one Spurs season dramatically impacted by an injury, and now we're having another one. So, again, I agree with Kevin that in January you don't get worried about the Spurs. But for them to have any chance, forget about the Warriors. For them to have a chance against the Thunder, against the Rockets, they need Kawhi at his best. And he hasn't been at his best in a long time now.
That's a good point about the injury, too, because I think that's what sometimes get lost. None of us are doctors. Sprain, tear, partial tear. When we look at James Harden, he has a partial tear right now. That's what a grade 2 sprain is. It is a partial tear. Now, when the tear is complete, then a guy misses most of the season, needs to have surgery. That's not what's happening with either player right now.
Is it a torn labrum? Is it a torn tendon? The Spurs are not saying it, and probably Pop regrets saying it.
Well, Pop said that he might play even on this road trip.
Yeah.
So that's the other question sort of to me is, in the end, depending on how, quote, severe it is or not, is how much does he actually play? Because, yes, there's a point early in the season where we all said, you know, the Spurs, they save players. It doesn't matter. Pop's an expert at this. They're going to be fresh in the playoffs. If you don't play for such huge chunks of a season that you are not in a rhythm and ready by the playoffs, that is a different issue. We're not there with Kawhi yet, but you don't want to get there.